Hey there, and welcome back to the deep dive. You know, if you're anything like us, your phone is, well, basically glued to your hand.
Eh, pretty much. And there's that one app, isn't there? The one that's just everywhere
Yeah.
for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. Connecting with, friends, family, work, the whole globe, really. We are talking about WhatsApp.
The very same.
Yeah.
And there's actually a pretty big shift happening, something strategic that, well, just started rolling out this week.
Yeah, we're diving into a really clear report on this. Came out this past Monday, June 16th, 2025, from GigaHyper that lays out what's going on.
And our mission today, really, is to cut through any confusion and figure out what this news, based on this article, actually means for you using the app, day to day.
And what it might signal for where WhatsApp is headed.
Exactly. Big picture stuff, too.
Okay, let's get into it then. So the headline news. The one that's been kind of whispered about for ages, what, 7 years?
Yeah, the GigaHable report actually says 7 years since Meta first sort of hinted at it.
Yeah.
Which is, forever in tech time.
It really is. Kind of shows how careful, maybe hesitant they've been with WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
Because of what it is.
But yeah, the report confirms it. Those rumors, they're over. Ads have officially started appearing.
And they're specific on the date, too. Started rolling out this past Monday, June 16th, 2025. So if you haven't seen them yet, you might soon.
They're here. But, and this is crucial, it's not like ads suddenly plastered everywhere. The strategy, according to GigaHaber, is very much about where.
Okay, so where are they putting them? This feels like the key detail.
Absolutely is. And it tells you a lot about how Meta's thinking. The ads, the report states, will only appear in the Gunschelmeller tab.
The Updates tab, okay.
Right, the Updates tab for most English users. Only there.
So straight away, that means they are not putting them in my personal chats or group chats.
Exactly. The source really emphasizes that. No ads cluttering up your one-on-one conversations or your family group.
That's probably wise. I can imagine the uproar.
Oh, for sure. Meta's stated reason, according to the report, is precisely that. Protect the basic private communication people rely on WhatsApp for. They know interrupting chats is a red line for many.
Makes total sense. Okay, so if they're only in the Updates tab, remind me, what's actually in there? What kind of stuff will these ads sit next to?
Well, that tab, based on the report, is mainly where you see status updates,
Yeah.
like stories elsewhere and channels.
Channels. Right, those have become quite a thing, haven't they? Following news outlets, creators, brands.
A huge thing, and the scale is just mind-boggling. The GigaHaber article mentions over 1.5 billion daily users interacting with status and channels.
1.5 billion daily in just that tab.
Yep, think about that. 1.5 billion pairs of eyes potentially looking at content. Just in updates, not even counting the core chats.
Wow. Okay, suddenly the strategy clicks into place. From Meta's perspective, that's a massive audience, but it's not the super private chat space.
Precisely. The source implies Meta sees it as this high-traffic zone where they can introduce monetization without, they hope, breaking that fundamental user trust built around privacy and encryption.
So they're sort of creating a commercial wing within the app.
That's a good way to put it, carving out a specific zone for this stuff.
Okay, but you say ads, and the next word that pops into my head is data. What are they actually using to target these ads in the Updates tab? According to the source, of course.
Right, the inevitable question. And the article gives some specifics here which are important. For targeting ads just in the Updates tab, WhatsApp reportedly says they'll use signals like
Okay.
your device language, your general location like country or city, not super precise the specific channels you choose to follow.
Right, that makes sense. Interest signals.
And also how you interact with the ads you see within that Updates tab itself.
So language, rough location, channels followed, and ad clicks in that one section. That actually sounds fairly limited compared to, say, the main Facebook feed.
That seems to be the message Meta, via the source, is trying to convey. Limited scope. And critically, the article is very explicit about what WhatsApp says they are not using.
Okay, hit me with the will nots. This is the list people really want to hear.
All right. The report states WhatsApp is promising not to use your phone number for selling or sharing with advertisers. Big one.
Definitely.
They also say they will not use the content of your actual chats or your calls.
Okay, good. Encryption still means something there.
And importantly, they say they will not use the content of your own personal status updates, the ones you share with friends, for ad targeting.
So my silly cat videos are safe from the ad algorithms.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
It all points back to protecting that end-to-end encryption promise for your private stuff. The line seems pretty clear. based on the Giga Haber reporting.
Yeah, it does feel like a deliberate separation. Private comms over here, more public feed-like updates tab over there with different rules.
It suggests they're trying to treat the Updates tab more like a public square, where your declared interests, like following a channel, are fair game,
Yeah.
while chats remain, private homes.
Meta loves connecting data. How does this fit with the wider Meta universe? Facebook, Instagram. Does the article mention any link?
It does. It points to the optional linking through Meta's account center.
Optional. Okay.
Yeah, the report says if you choose to link your WhatsApp to your main Meta account profile, your Facebook or Insta, then your broader ad preferences and info from across Meta can be used to shape the ads you see in the WhatsApp Updates tab.
So it's an opt-in for deeper integration. It doesn't just happen automatically.
That's the crucial distinction the article highlights. You have to actively connect them for that cross-platform data to flow into WhatsApp ads. They're presenting it as a user-controlled boundary.
Okay, so stepping back, the strategy Giga Haber outlines is basically tap into WhatsApp's money potential, but do it carefully. Wall off the Updates tab, use limited data there by default, keep chat sacred, and make deeper data sharing an explicit choice.
That seems to be the tightrope they're walking. Yes, it's definitely a balancing act.
And the source indicates it's not just about display ads popping up in that feed, right? There's more to this monetization plan for the updates section.
Correct. Ads are just one piece. The report also talks about the introduction of channel subscriptions.
Channel subscriptions.
Yeah.
So like paying a creator directly through WhatsApp.
Essentially, yeah. It's framed as a new way for channel creators, think news publishers, influencers, whoever, to monetize their content and audience directly within the app.
Interesting. So you might follow a channel and they could offer like exclusive posts or early access if you subscribe for a small fee.
That's the model implied by the description in the article, yes. Makes WhatsApp a platform for direct creator support.
And does Meta get a piece of that action?
Oh, you bet. The source adds that Meta's plan is to eventually take a 10% cut of those subscription revenue.
10%. Okay. Standard platform fee territory. So that's another revenue stream from the Updates tab ecosystem. What else?
The Giga Haber article also mentions something called promoted channels.
Promoted channels, like paying to get noticed.
Exactly. Businesses and creators can apparently pay Meta to get boosted visibility when users are browsing or searching for new channels to follow in the Discovery section of the Updates tab.
Okay. Like sponsored search results, but for WhatsApp channels. Buying discoverability.
Precisely. It's another lever for Meta to pull, generating revenue from the commercial activity they're trying to foster within this specific part of the app.
So you put it all together. The ads in the feed, the channel subscriptions with Meta's cut, the promoted channels for discovery. It really paints a picture, doesn't it? The Updates tab is changing significantly.
It strongly suggests, based on these reported moves, that Meta envisions the Updates tab becoming a much more robust content and commercial hub inside WhatsApp.
Yeah, less about just seeing your friends' temporary updates, more like a mini feed or marketplace.
Kind of. A place where businesses, creators, and users interact more commercially, with Meta facilitating and monetizing those interactions in various ways. It's becoming its own distinct platform within the platform.
Which I guess brings us back to that 7-year, wait, why pull the trigger now?
Yeah.
What's the source's take on the timing?
Well, the report interprets that long delay, not just as hesitation, but maybe as a calculated period. Time to plan, to watch how users adopted things like status in channels, and find an approach they thought wouldn't cause a mass exodus.
Because WhatsApp's whole brand was built on being simple, private, ad-free.
Exactly. Messing with that core identity is risky. But the scale, the article reminds us, over 2 billion monthly active users globally. That's just a massive, largely untapped financial resource sitting there.
Too big to ignore forever, especially for a company like Meta.
And the report connects the dots pretty explicitly. It states this whole WhatsApp monetization push is clearly designed to leverage that huge global reach to significantly boost Meta's overall financial performance.
Right, and they need that boost, don't they? The article mentions funding their big bets.
Mm-hmm. Supporting those huge investments in future tech AI research, the metaverse, whatever comes next. WhatsApp is now officially being plugged in as a major engine to help pay for Meta's ambitions.
It's not just the chat app anymore, it's a core part of the business strategy.
Fully integrated now, it seems.
So let's bring it right back to you, the listener, holding your phone, scrolling through WhatsApp. What's the practical change you're likely to see based on this Giga Haber report?
Well, the most immediate thing will be seeing ads in the mix within your Updates tab,
Hmm.
probably sitting there between status updates from contacts and posts from channels you follow.
Okay, ads will appear in that feed.
Yeah. And if you actively browse or search for new channels, you'll likely start seeing some labeled as promoted paid placements.
Got it.
And then, down the line, for some channels you follow, you might see new options pop up, ways to subscribe or pay for premium content directly.
So the whole feel of the Updates tab is probably going to shift, become more commercial, more curated by algorithms and payments.
That certainly seems to be the direction implied by the strategy outlined in the source. Making it a more dynamic space for discovery and interaction, yes, but definitely with more commercial elements woven in.
Okay, let's try and put a bow on this, based purely on the GigaHaber report's details.
Sure.
Ads arrived Monday, June 16th. Big news, but crucially, they are only in the Updates tab, strategically kept out of your private chats and calls.
Check. Key distinction.
For targeting those ads, Meta is reportedly using a limited dataset tied to that tab language, location, channels, ad interactions. They say they won't use chat content, call data, or your personal status updates.
Unless you choose to link your wider Meta account via the Account Center, then more data can come into play, but it's presented as opt-in.
Right. And this isn't just about ads. It's part of a broader monetization strategy for that Updates tab, including letting creators launch paid subscriptions with Meta taking a cut.
Yep, 10% eventually.
And letting businesses pay to promote their channels for better visibility.
Correct. Promoted channels.
And the big picture, according to the source, is turning WhatsApp's massive user base into a much-needed revenue stream to fuel Meta's overall business and its expensive future projects.
That captures the strategic shift laid out in the article pretty well.
It really feels like a pivotal moment for an app that, for so long, defined itself by not being a commercial space.
It is. They're definitely trying to thread a very fine needle here, balancing user expectations with business needs.
Yeah. And, thinking about all this, building on what the article describes, it leaves you with a question to ponder. As Meta really leans into monetizing this Updates tab with ads, subscriptions, promotion, how might the actual nature of the content that succeeds there change over time? Will it inevitably push creators towards stuff that's easier to monetize, maybe less personal?
That's a really interesting point. The ecosystem could definitely evolve.
And what does this whole balancing act, trying to keep users happy while finally cashing in on this huge platform signal for the future of other communication apps? It's a fascinating challenge.
It really is. Lots to watch unfold there.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for diving deep into this WhatsApp news with us today.
Always good to unpack these changes.
We'll catch you on